You ready?
Oh, I need my shoes.
Hey, not the shoes on the table.
Baby.
Oh.
Is this our forever table?
No, but still, it's where I put food.
Is this gonna...
Always helps.
What always helps? To make yourself burp?
Yeah. What's up, my guys, and welcome to the 4th episode of the Make Me a Sandwich podcast, which we already filmed.
Yeah.
We filmed this last night, and then we got to the end. I was like, oh, it was a good episode. And then I looked at my camera, and the audio didn't record because I didn't plug it in. So...
Do you know all those times where you look at me where I'm like, oh my God, you've got to be fucking kidding me. And you go, we're not going to let this ruin the day. We're not going to let this... You did the exact same thing last night. And every single time I looked at you, I was like, it's fine. We'll record it again tomorrow. So bad. You were just like, no, it's not okay. It's the end of the world. So the next time I'm having a moment, just remember how you felt in that moment.
I felt really bad.
All right.
Okay. Anywho, if you are not yet subscribed, please subscribe because we don't know what the hell we're doing. And when you guys comment and like and share and just love our videos, it helps us a lot.
Whenever you drop a what's up, my guys, in the comments.
Yeah, drop a, no. We can't say that. I'll tell you at the end. Okay. So, what are we doing? Okay, episode 4. So, last night when we started episode 4, the Barbie movie has kind of, seen its days. It's actually, speaking of the Barbie movie, now available on Prime. So we can watch it again from the comfort of our own living room.
Yeah, I can't wait.
So, we never gave our reviews on Barbie, and we were actually supposed to start this podcast the night that we went to see Barbie, but we just never got to it. So, Dan has a lot of opinions on Barbie. I'm going to tell you mine really quick. I thought it was a funny movie. It definitely had some, feminism, anti-men undertones.
Undertones.
But pink
kidding me.
high heels. She even had Birkenstocks on, and I love my Birkenstocks. I don't have them on today. I have my fuzzy socks.
Yeah, put those away.
That's why I have socks on.
Yeah. Well, either way.
Anyway, so yeah, Barbie. There was some undertones, but I thought it was fun. So anyway, we're giving Dan a 5-minute timer to get his thoughts on Barbie out because he will go on for 5 million hours if I don't time it. That's my calculator. Hold on. Are you ready?
Yeah, sure.
Go.
Okay. So, I would encourage all of you to never see this movie. I've heard all of the different theories. Stop. For Christ's sake, please stop. Sorry to those religious who I just took the Lord's name in vain. My apologies. So I would encourage all of you to never see this movie. It felt like I was being waterboarded the entire time I was watching it. It starts off with something that a lot of people have not... A lot of people who have commented on the movie already have not made this observation from the very beginning of the movie. The first thing that happens is the old style baby dolls that children used to play with, that little girls used to play with, oh, look at this little baby that I can take care of, preparing them for the blessed nature of motherhood. The moment Barbie shows up, they immediately start to break and destroy these baby dolls, which is very much a pro-choice message. I'm just going to go ahead and put that out there. So starting off really, really strong.
We have a Planned Parenthood across the street from us.
Yeah, I can't wait to bring that into the content. Anyway, so I got some good ideas on that one. But
he has some.
I have some really good ideas.
Planned Parenthood ideas.
I get an extra 15 seconds. So there is way more than undertones of feminism and anti-men. The whole movie is built around that. I feel like the entire movie is one gigantic self-own because it's supposed to be super pro-feminist. Look at this amazing Barbie. Look at this amazing Barbie world, Barbie land, whatever it is, where women are in charge and there's a matriarchy. And
I'm just kidding.
That's the end of the movie. And apparently women can do anything they want, and women are the ones who are running the Supreme Court, and they're the ones who are the best doctor in town and the best this and the best that. And what's hilarious is there's nothing real in that world. So it's already pretend and make believe, but literally nothing in it is real. She has fake food, fake milk, fake water. Like, she goes to turn the shower on in the morning and nothing's coming out. She's like pretending to shower, which is feminism in a nutshell. It is literally a pipe dream where nothing is real. That is what feminism is. And when they go out into the real world, and it turns out, oh, like, it's not as easy to be a woman out here, where, you know, you actually have to work to make money, to produce things in order to consume things. Things aren't just handed to you because you aren't entitled to anything because of just who you are. All of a sudden, Barbie doesn't like it, and Ken is like, oh my God, I'm somebody here. And there's a couple of little funny things built into that.
Patriarchy.
Yeah, the patriarchy, which they overtly refer to it as the patriarchy. They make jokes like, wait, I thought you guys had patriarchy here. And then they're just like, yeah, we do. We just hide it a little bit better now. Like, really, really classic feminist messaging. But there's like even some stuff with Ken where he goes up to like random people and it's like, hi, I would like a job working at your place, please. And they basically go, no, you're not qualified. He goes, yeah, but I'm a man. And they go, well, we don't care because you're not qualified. So even that's a self-own, because you're supposed to be making the point that, you know, men can just do whatever they want in a patriarchy because they're just handed things because it's a man's world. And even the man who comes out of Barbie world or Barbie land, whatever the hell it's called, even he isn't entitled to anything. He still has to earn things. So it's one gigantic self-own.
What were the most beautiful parts, Dan?
And then, actually, good point. The most beautiful parts of the movie were the ones that were very, very overtly feminine. The ones that shed a light on the things that make women unique and make women that actually bring a lot of value to the feminine nature. So the moment where Barbie cries her first tear because she's out in the real world and she has this odd intuitive connection to this young girl who she feels like called her to the real world. And she feels this strange emotion. She's like, oh my God, that kind of felt good, even though it also weirdly felt bad. And like that's kind of cute and funny. It's this truly like female thing that I think a lot of guys have a hard time tapping into. There was a great theme of motherhood kind of worked into the woman who founded Barbie, and the end of the movie when she decides that she wants to enter into the real world because this fake Barbie land just doesn't bring her fulfillment. And there's this compilation of these mothers playing with their daughters and playing with their children in these like old Polaroid film like clips and things like that. So again, it ends up being, I want to go to the real world because I have a call to motherhood. And
your time's done.
No, I get an extra 15 seconds.
I gave you it.
No. She gets called to the real world because she wants to be basically a mother. She wants to leave the world where nothing is earned and women are entitled to everything just because they're women.
That was your 15 seconds. Okay.
Go feminism. Like, don't see it. It's complete BS. It didn't make any sense. It might have been the worst movie I've ever seen.
Speaking of movies and actors and actresses,
who are we going to talk about first?
Johnny Depp and Amber Heard. So last summer, I was obsessed with this court case. I did not miss a day. I watched Emily D. Baker every single day. I didn't miss a moment. And he wasn't like as much tuned into it as I was.
I just realized this was like right around the time we started dating again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the case was wrapping up.
Like April, May of 2022, right?
Yeah, but like the case was wrapping up, I remember. Like you weren't there for like most of it. So they just recently released a Netflix documentary, a 3-part documentary, just outlining the whole case, and it's completely not biased. Like if you don't know anything about the case, you can watch it and form your own opinion. Like
there's no commentary. Like it's not like a person put together the documentary with the intention of like narrating the whole thing or providing their insights or their opinions or doing confessionals. It's literally just footage from the entire trial and nothing but words to describe the outcomes or the things that were about to happen. So when she says unbiased, literally there's no one else in the documentary other than the people involved in the case.
Yeah, but like if anybody did follow the case at all, we kind of know what the public opinion was, which was Amber Heard was hated. And you brought up an interesting point when we were watching it, which was she wasn't believable because somebody who was genuinely scared of an abuser wouldn't provoke their abuser and put themselves in a situation where they could be harmed if he was so abusive.
Yeah, I didn't understand that.
Like, she would set traps just to provoke him, which we will watch a video together in a second.
I can't imagine being in a situation where I am afraid that someone might hurt me, and therefore I am going to provoke that person. It makes zero logical sense unless I had something to gain from them hurting me, which is what I think this was really about.
Do you think in like modern day dating, women provoke men?
Oh, I mean, women have been provoking men in the dating world for the longest time now.
Do you think it's like more prevalent in modern day dating?
100%.
In which ways?
What do you mean?
Like, how does that present itself?
Well, I think women just know that there's no consequence for them bothering a man because like 999 out of 1,000, maybe probably way more than that, would never lay their hands on a woman no matter what they did. They would never do it.
So women test the boundaries.
Not even test the boundaries. They just have all this confidence in the world. Men know to not provoke each other because it could get physical. They know that the nature of how we interact is we hash things out so we can avoid things getting physical. Women are never physical, ever. So they just think to themselves, I'm going to push this person as far as I can. And since we're trying to be like, don't push us because you don't want it to get to the point where I'm angry, we're trying to shut down and move away, be like, give me some space. And girls will just pry and pry and pry and pry, and they'll try to provoke knowing that a guy will not do anything. That's what I think that's the case in most situations. You're right, testing boundaries, right? We use that term all the time. But in this particular case, I think that she was looking to get something on Johnny Depp that she could use.
Speaking of getting things, she did date Elon Musk, so I'm just saying.
When did she date him?
I think after Johnny Depp.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm just saying. I mean, there's just a trend here. Anyway, they didn't get married though. But anyway. So she wasn't believable. I will say, I don't think either of them are relationship material, probably. I wouldn't want to be in a relationship with either of them.
I'm not saying that they are the beacon of a perfect relationship. I'm also not saying that there weren't almost certainly some ways in which Johnny Depp was an abusive partner. He was a drunk. He was a drug addict. He was clearly not the simplest person to coexist and cohabitate with. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is, if he was truly, truly a danger to you, you would not be provoking him to trigger that danger.
Yeah, I will say, I feel like the Amber Heard cancellation, it wasn't murder. Like, she didn't commit murder. And the public reaction to the case, I feel like I'm not one for cancellations, and I feel like
look,
I mean, yes,
what is a cancellation?
Amber Heard was more at fault here.
What's a cancellation?
Someone's reputation is just ruined forever.
Right.
And to be fair, Johnny Depp's was like, his reputation was ruined, and I understand why he wanted to make the case public.
This was a defamation case, not an abuse case.
I just feel like a lot of this stuff shouldn't have been made public, in my opinion.
But again, she made it public.
But I feel like some of that should have stayed in the court, like the videos of Johnny Depp, like the videos of like the drunkenness, the videos of everything, like the stories. I feel like he could have won in court without all of this being.
Yeah, but
I don't know.
Important piece though. In an abuse case, if it's one person's word against the other, whose word is going to be believed in the public opinion? With no evidence, whose word is going to be believed?
The woman.
The woman. So what does he need? He needs video. It was his idea to have the videos in the courtroom because he wanted video on her because he knew, I think, again, allegedly, I don't know the exact truth, nobody does, but I think that Johnny Depp knew that this was a total fabrication, and he wanted cameras on her so the world could watch her lie, because he knew that she was lying. I know that she won the case in the UK. I don't know how
I think there was a lot,
how the law is different over there versus here.
There was a lot of evidence that was omitted in the US but was shown in the UK case, and I don't know if it's public knowledge like what was shown in the UK case, but it would be interesting to have all the evidence that was shown in the UK case shown here.
Right. And again, I have so much to go off of in this. He's got the, I mean, do you want to watch that video?
Yeah, let's watch
You want to
the
bring that up? Because this video...
This is just an example of if you were this scared of the person, watching a video like this, you're like, why is she even in the house? And you could see she has the freedom. Like he walks away. Let's fast forward to a minute in.
Right, so she's setting up the camera.
You're right, I just woke up.
While he's walking around the house angry, right?
We're not even fighting this morning. All I did was say sorry.
Did something happen to you?
He's already agitated and she's just provoking.
I don't think so.
He's clearly drunk.
She's making sure she has the perfect shot.
That's the thing.
And he sees it. I love the mason jar, by the way.
Pours himself a stiff glass of wine.
What's it called? A mega pint.
You got this going?
Oh, and
really?
now he takes the phone and I imagine throws it in the trash can. She goes over and grabs it.
Didn't it? You were smashing.
And the giggle. And the giggle. What is the giggle?
Right. So, again, could you make the case of she just wants to have the evidence for when she makes a claim? Sure. But all I'm saying is, why would... I don't get the sense that she felt like she was in danger in that situation.
Yeah.
I get the sense that she just wanted to catch him.
And this is coming from a woman who claims she was kicked in the back with a boot.
Yeah, by the way, another thing you find out in the documentary, like spoilers, sorry, is that she would just randomly take pictures of him when he would fall asleep high.
Yeah.
She was just building evidence.
Yeah.
Like her whole relationship was about building evidence to screw this guy over.
Yeah.
There wasn't compassion. There wasn't like an I care about you and I want to help you. It was, I want to make sure I have all this in safekeeping for when I defame him one day, so that I have all these things in my back pocket. Not realizing how stupid she was going to look. Like the lawyer literally goes, "You really seem to love taking photos of Mr. Depp when he's sleeping, don't you?" Like it's, and then again, not
Camille Vasquez.
and on top of that, oh my God, the way that she would talk to the jury, the way that she would deliver these lines. It
was just a bad acting performance.
Everybody, that's exactly what it was. The best, if anyone who's ever seen like how things happen on the stand in court, things are supposed to be very factual. Yes, there's opening and closing statements where you're supposed to be compelling for the jury, but when you're just gathering the evidence and getting the evidence out there, you're supposed to be asking questions and getting responses. And Johnny Depp, when he went on the stand, that's exactly what was happening with him. He was sitting there responding. And every once in a while, he had a kind of funny response to some of the stupider questions that were asked. But for the most part, it was listen, speak, think, respond. Like everything was just very, very human in the way that he presented himself. Granted, he's an actor too, so maybe he just knew how to play the crowd. But with Amber Heard, it was like the shittiest, most soap opera-y acting performance I've ever seen.
Bad.
They were asking her things like, what was it like in your early relationship with Johnny? And rather than just give the response, which is, yeah, I mean, early in the relationship, things were magical, things were great. The way we met, there was a spark. I loved him. He brought out the best in me. He did this, he did that, whatever it was. And I like when it falls in front. It looks cute.
Okay.
But instead, she would do these things where she would be given like a monologue in an audition. She'd be like, yeah, when I first met Johnny, I just, like, it was literally fresh out of like a close-up movie or like Broadway.
Yeah.
I felt like she was auditioning for Wicked or something like that.
Yeah.
It was horrid. So the court of public opinion, they look at her and they're like, you're either a psycho or you're just lying. and you're trying to put on the acting performance of a lifetime. And again, I think that the reason why this cancellation, as you say, was warranted was because, first of all, she tried to cancel him. You already admitted as much. But on top of that, I think that this was just a victory for men. I think that for the longest time, post Me Too, and just in general, in cases having to do with SA, with rape, with all these different things where it is almost always a woman who is coming forth as the victim of this crime, all it takes is a woman's word to ruin the life of a man. Like, you say innocent until proven guilty in a court of law, but in the court of public opinion, the moment that you get hit with that, you are basically, it's like the equivalent of being put on like a sex offender list. It's like, imagine trying to get a job, get a house, do anything in society once your name is attached to that registry. You can't do it. Women can literally ruin the life of a man like that. The worst thing that a man can do to a woman is physically harm her. His word does not carry as much weight. And I think in this case, Johnny Depp is clearly a man who has some trauma, is damaged. He talked about his personal life and his childhood, where he definitely went through a lot. He talked about how he wound up getting addicted to drugs, the nerve pill, that whole thing. That was kind of crazy. And I just think that he decided, I'm not going to have my life screwed over by some lying bitch. And all these other guys were sitting there being like, are we finally going to win one here? Because there's no way that this girl would write an op-ed, make herself the face of Me Too and all that. There's no way that she would just do this and have it be. It just didn't seem believable. So I think that it was just good because it was a victory for guys. It felt good as a man to know that it's not just going to go the woman's way because she's a woman. So in that sense, I felt good about the entire thing, but it's what it is.
Yeah. Well, it was an entertaining 6 weeks of my life and an entertaining 3-part documentary. So
and then
it's worth a watch.
And then you wanted to talk about Ashton and Mila too, because
we're talking about shitty actors.
Yeah.
So we're going to move on to another shitty acting performance that happened this week. I don't know his name, but another actor from that 70s show was convicted of rape this week. I think it was aggravated.
Yeah, that would be bad.
So, yeah, not a good situation. 2 counts of it, I think. I think he had been convicted, and it might have been the sentencing that was the recent thing that happened. So, months ago, Mila and Ashton were asked to write a character testimony to be read by the judge, taken into consideration while sentencing. And I believe this guy has a wife and a young daughter, and, they've known him for 25 years, so the family wanted to have their, firsthand character testimony.
Right. And do you know when the crimes took place? Was it before he got married?
Yeah, I think it was a long time ago. I think, again, I didn't look into the case at all. I just saw this trending on Twitter.
Got it.
And basically, they were asked to write this months ago. So they wrote it. They knew the situation.
Mila and Ashton were asked to write it. Yeah.
So they knew the situation that they were writing this for. And whether it was the right thing or wrong thing to do, I can leave that up to public debate. I really, I do have an opinion on it. I think if you're asked to write a character testimony, you write a truthful character testimony.
Well, you would.
If they wrote they're not writing their opinions on the crime. They're writing about the guy that they've known for X amount of years. And I don't see a problem with that.
These are public debates that happen all the time. Like something as simple as, is the prison system supposed to be about justice or correction? Like, where we go, again, these are just people. They are products of their environment. Yes, they made choices, but what led to those choices? Yeah. Is there a way to like a lot of people meet prisoners and talk to prisoners and are like, wow, you're really intelligent. You're really kind in a lot of ways. You seem to have a great heart. You care about people. But you did this really bad thing. Like, these are debates that happen constantly.
When I worked at the prison, like, I worked with rapists. And I learned about their stories and how they got there. And, you know, I think Mila and Ashton are not, by writing a character testimony, you're not agreeing with the crime that was committed just by, I don't know.
No, exactly. No, but you're right. Like, there's nothing wrong with someone coming to you to say, can you do me a favor and give an honest character testimony about what you know about him? Because we want to do everything we can to make sure that the sentencing is appropriate.
Yeah,
there's nothing wrong with giving an honest testimony about what you know about this person.
In the character testimony, I believe that they wrote something along the lines of, you know, it would be unjust to have, don't quote me on this, but I think it would be like, it would be unjust to have the daughter grow up without a father. So I guess that was part of it. He ended up getting sentenced to 30 years to life. So he won't be eligible for parole for 30 years. And word got out that Mila and Ashton wrote this character testimony months ago. And the public this week just started to absolutely obliterate them.
They went in on them.
And if you know anything about Mila and Ashton, I believe they have a foundation that protects people against abuse. So it was kind of, you know, odd for them to be defending a guy like this. And yeah, they apologized right away with the, we will watch it. We've already watched this. It's so cringe to watch.
And by the way, think about before we watch this, think about if any of you were asked to give a character testimony about someone you know very well who did a really, really bad thing. And then you act, how much thought would you put into even wanting to do it?
Yeah.
Like, how much thought would you put into it and be like, do I actually want to put my name to this? Do I actually want to defend this person? Do I feel like it's in my moral scope to even put my name on something that could lessen the punishment for this person? You would think so critically about it before you did this. And they clearly thought very critically.
And they're only apologizing because they're
apologizing to the public. The moment that you apologize to the public, you know for certain that this is not an apology from you, it's an apology from your PR team. That is what this is, because they're just trying to keep money in their pockets, probably.
It was
not even your pocket.
It's just, you said...
Wait until you see this apology. It is a joke.
We are aware of the pain that has been caused by the
Pause it real quick.
that we wrote on behalf of Danny.
Can we just talk about the setting?
Look at the clothing. Look at, like, no makeup on Mila's face.
You know, the PR team was like, look relatable.
Yeah, ponytail, Mila, ponytail.
Look like a mom, and look, you know, like you rugged.
Ashton, do us a favor. Like you just rolled out of bed, okay?
Yeah.
You woke up to the news and you just had to get the apology out right away.
And then the trade-off when they speak, so planned. Watch.
We support victims. We have done this historically through our work and will continue to do so in the future.
A couple months ago, Danny's family reached out to us and they asked us to write character letters to represent the person that we knew for 25 years, so that the judge could take that into full consideration relative to the sentencing.
The letters were not written to question the legitimacy of the judicial system or the validity of the jury's ruling.
Yeah, I believe you.
We're intended for the judge to read, and not to undermine the testimony of the victims or re-traumatize them in any way. We would never want to do that. And we're sorry if that has taken place.
Our heart goes out to every single person who's ever been a victim.
Thank God.
Of sexual assault, sexual abuse, or rape.
Yeah. Man.
They recorded it on an iPhone. Clearly, it's so fucking bad.
Do you think it was an AR-15 or a pistol in the hand of the guy behind the camera?
The PR team.
Oh my God. Like, the moment that, okay, you know what I was thinking about watching that? You know, I have no idea how many people watching this podcast also are familiar with Tom Segura and Christina Protitsky from Your Mom's House. Amazing show.
Yeah, I'm a big fan.
I love those guys. But they have this kind of ongoing saga with Garth Brooks, where they're under the impression that he is just a sociopath, just has no idea how to actually connect to people.
I know this video.
And there's a video of him and his wife.
Can we pull it up?
Oh my God, if you can.
Here, you talk about it while I pull it up.
No, pull it up and then we'll talk about it. Okay, we'll edit this.
What was the video again?
Just put Garth Brooks, Ukraine.
Hey everybody, Garth Brooks.
And Trisha Yearwood.
And we're proud to say, we stand with Ukraine.
Especially
There's
the
a global
refugees.
initiative, and of course, supplies and aid is already spread thin. And this is where you come in. We need your help. We need you to donate.
Yeah, I mean, we always ask for love and prayers. Please keep doing that. But we're also going to ask you, dig in your pockets.
Nice little smirk on his face.
Greatest global relief plan mankind.
Okay, Mr. Hillary
Everybody
Clinton.
deserves dignity. Everybody deserves a roof over their head to feel safe. You can be a part of that.
Yeah, amen. So join us, won't you? Stand up for love.
Stand up for mankind.
Stand up for you.
Stand up for love. Stand up for, what did she say? Stand up for something. Stand up for Ukraine. Like, you can tell he just has this weird, I don't want to do the same. Watch Tom Segura and Christina break this down. It's hilarious. But that's the same thing. It's like, yeah, we just want all of you to know, we stand with Ukraine. Like, both of you?
Especially the refugees.
Especially the refugees. Yeah, not just any Ukrainian, especially those refugees. Like that's what that felt like. Like, our hearts go out to all the victims of sexual assault. Do you think that makes you unique? Do you think that you're the only one? Yeah, just so you know, we're not like those people whose hearts don't go out to the victims of sexual assault. This is don't ever apologize to people who are compelling you to apologize.
You know who does this best is Matt Walsh. Whenever Matt Walsh gets called out for something, he always goes like, "Yep, I did say that.
Yep.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. No matter how bad it sounds, I said that."
Yeah. No, well, again, there's a very, very important thing that, again, I'll say leftists. This is very much their MO, but just people who rely on shame in general, they don't realize the flaw in their approach. The flaw in their approach is, if shame is your goal, it only works if the person you're shaming decides to feel ashamed. If you do not feel ashamed of the decision that you made, you cannot be shamed for it. So all of these situations where you have the public coming out and giving all of their... Could you imagine if you and I apologized for everything that we bothered people with? Holy crap. So, like, don't ever think critically about the things that you're going to do. Make the decision, and if you think that you did something wrong, you can then apologize. Don't ever be compelled to apologize by a fucking crazy, looting set of assholes. I don't know. But anyway, also don't believe any actors. They have no idea how to be normal people.
Speaking of actors, Miley Cyrus. We could talk about the Cyrus family for a little bit.
Oh, that's fun.
So Miley Cyrus released a new song, which I really like. I love Miley Cyrus. And I feel like people didn't catch on to this when I released my video last week reacting to her new song. Just because I think there were certain things wrong with the song doesn't mean I don't love Miley Cyrus. I mean, I grew up with her. I grew up watching Hannah Montana. When I went to Malibu for the first time, the only thing I wanted to see was the Hannah Montana house. Like, I love Miley Cyrus.
You play every time we're in California, you play Malibu when we're driving through.
Love her. So. I love her. And, you know, maybe I don't agree with every life choice that she's made, but I do think that she's one of the only Disney stars that made it, like, turned out okay. She went through a rough patch, but she turned into, like, a beautiful woman.
Yeah, I don't listen. First of all, I think a lot of her more recent music in the last like 5 years is actually pretty good. I genuinely like it. It sounds almost like Heart renewed. It's pretty cool. I also do not doubt that people can mature, you know, right the wrongs of their past, whatever it might be. Also, she's clearly not any different from a million other people who have also been in her situation. Justin Bieber went through a similar patch in his early 20s and his late teens. Taylor Swift went through a crazy, like the last great American dynasty years. And everyone kind of comes out of it. And also, I saw her on the Joe Rogan Experience a couple of years ago. She's hilarious, by the way. She's a very entertaining individual. I genuinely think so. My issue and your issue from the video that you did is why does every generation, knowing that these stupid choices are going to result in really stupid prizes, continue to encourage the next generation to make those same stupid decisions? Why?
Ironically, Selena Gomez's single Soon came out the same day as this.
Right. Like, hey, ladies, it's fun to break up with guys and be single. Like, just do it. I understand that you're supposed to go through a degree of necessary suffering as you age, but why has basically every generation since what feels like maybe the 1970s or 80s, every single one of them has just been like, yeah, like you're gonna have sex, so do it safely. You're gonna go to college and have the college experience. Yeah, like,
why do you need to go to college and have the college experience?
Like, why is it that we believe that you have to go through all of these like rites of passage things just so that you can wind up being a normal adult? Why can't we encourage people to make different decisions and go through the necessary suffering? Why are we making the college experience and hookup culture something that's just like a way to find yourself and a way to learn lessons that you can pass on to the next generation? What's the point? You learned those lessons and didn't pass it on to us. So I actually liked your take on the video. It's, yeah, you made those mistakes because you were young, but it's also because the previous generation didn't fucking warn you.
Yeah.
So how about we start warning the next generation?
There are parts of the messaging in the song that I do like. I mean, I didn't go through the greatest growing up experience. I didn't have any crazy stories, but there's probably a lot of things I could have avoided if I was told differently. So there's a lot of it that like resonates with me, but I just don't think it's the best message to be sending. We can listen to the chorus, and so you guys can. I used to be crazy. I know I used. Pause. She filmed this looking at her mom in the same place she filmed the Wrecking Ball music video, I believe. Be fun. You say I used to be wild. I say I used to be young. So it's basically because she used to be.
Yeah, I was young. That's why I did all those things. And you know what? I'm glad, because it made me the person I am today. Guess what? Making different decisions might have made you a better person today. Just saying.
Yeah. Well, that brings us to her brother, Tracy Cyrus, who also made headlines in like the same week. So if you guys haven't heard of Tracy Cyrus, he was like a one-hit wonder in like 2008.
What was his song?
Shake, 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 shake.
Oh, that was him?
It. Yeah.
I didn't know that.
You knew that?
No, I didn't.
We talked about this last night.
No, I didn't. Actually, I totally forgot about that.
Yeah, we talked about this last night.
Okay, look, it was late. I had my Kratom.
Yeah, we're having our Kratom right now.
Yeah.
We don't drink alcohol, we drink Kratom.
Yeah, just.
Anywho.
I honestly forgot about that. Holy crap.
Tracy Cyrus
last night
tweeted, I'm going to read you his tweet, and then I'm going to read you some of the replies, because they're even better than the tweet. I like to get into it when I read this. I'm going to read it like how I thought he was writing it. OnlyFans, period. There are so many girls that do OnlyFans, and they have lost their chance of ever settling down with a good guy with morals. They will try and call those men insecure for having standards. They get a lot of attention from guys on OnlyFans, so they think they have options. But any guy who is so desperate to see sexual content they are willing to pay for is a desperate loser.
Nice.
Do you like it?
It's getting better.
A lot of successful guys will sleep with those girls but don't want to wife them. I see a lot of these girls speaking out on this now, saying they can't get serious relationships. It's because men see the value in those girls strictly for sex. They don't look at those women and equate their value as a future wife, mother, or loyal partner. I know some amazing girls that are genuinely good people that do OnlyFans. I just think this independent mindset of not needing a man, I don't need no man, is extremely toxic and leads to a very lonely future. I hope more girls continue to speak up about this so other girls know the risk of getting into it. Having a good man and a family will bring you more happiness in old age than OnlyFans ever could. Hold your thoughts, please. I mean, I think he's off to a great start, but wait until you see the responses.
Pretty based, by the way.
Pretty based.
Responses from who?
Just the
Like random people or from OnlyFans girls?
So anyway, I'm an what did I just say? So anyway, I'm an active adult industry worker, and I'm getting married in October with my fiance. He loves me and even helps make content with me. This is such a sad take to see coming from you. When I was younger, I thought you were the coolest. Hold on.
And because you said one thing, I no longer think you're cool.
Me currently pregnant. Reading this as my partner is downstairs making me dinner. Hold on, I'm screenshotting these so I have them. Wow, this rant sounds a lot like when my toddler gets upset for not getting his way. Someone hurt your feelings, buddy. By the way, I'm happily married, have a kid, and successful on OnlyFans, so your words don't hold any value.
It's always name calling. He didn't call anybody names. Actually, in fact...
Oh, wait, no, this is my favorite one. Hold on.
Wait, hold on. He, just really quick, the only people who he called names in his thing, he said the men who subscribe to your OnlyFans are desperate losers. He didn't once call the girls a name at all. But they decide that they have to call him a toddler, they have to call him toxic, they have to call him all these things.
All of the girls also are promoting their OF links in the replies, but this one was the winner by far. You so right. My husband has a horrible life because he gets his and effed all the time because of our work. He is suffering with all the extra income we make, truly crying over how much love and support we have with each other. And now we're buying a house. Ooh.
How's your not relationship?
So, like, do you think these men are so lucky because they just have these girls that are so experienced? What do you think about when girls... We have a lot of thoughts on this. I'm just trying to get him to... I'm just trying to get him to sound,
Well, first of all...
Trying to get a good clip out of this.
First of all, if you are in a relationship and you think that just because you do OF, it means that for one reason or another, your husband getting his D, S'd, and F'd makes you, like, special and unique, I got news for you. There are... The vast majority of relationships, actually, where that exact same thing is happening and the girl doesn't do OF. So what, are you saying that you're better at it? What makes you better at it? Is it just the fact that you've done it a lot with a bunch of different people? Because I don't even think that that's what would make you good at it, because you're not going to get good at something just by doing it a bunch of one-off times with a bunch of random people. You're going to get a lot better at it by doing it with the same...
Destiny Melina.
You're going to get better at doing it with the same person over and over and over again and building an actual connection.
Hold on, let me find something, because I completely agree with what you just said, and I think that made a lot of sense, Dan.
Thanks, baby.
I think that made so much sense, actually. It made so much sense that I think we should watch this video.
The 5 best sexual partners that I've had in my life were all the people that I were in the long-term relationships with. Like on a one-night stand, like it's hard to know, like one-night stands aren't even that fun sexually, depending on what you're looking for.
I can agree that the longer you're with somebody, the better sex gets. So why is she not enough?
Why is she not enough? It's kind of like asking. It's kind of like if you've got like a close friend, but then you've got other friends. Like, well, why is that one friend not enough? Because in life, sometimes variety is fun. Sometimes I want to be with a girl that's Hispanic or Asian. Sometimes I want to be with somebody that is
marriage
something
is not a friendship.
I didn't say marriage was a friendship, but marriage to me isn't just about my going in. A lot of aspects to my marriage that I share with my wife that's really unique to my wife that I don't share with other people. It's just not one of those things.
What the fuck? Yep. So you are friends. You have a friends with benefits that you're with.
Yes.
That's what it is.
Yep.
a really good friend with great benefits.
And a green card.
Yeah, but that's it. And again, what is it about these people who can't money? Is money really your argument? Because you know what? Murder for hire probably pays really well. Like, at what point do we go, maybe it's not the best thing in the world to make money doing certain things. Maybe morality actually has a degree. Maybe there are values and meaning to the decisions that we make. And by the way, your income is going to run out eventually.
I almost quit social media because I didn't like the content I was making. And I was making good money doing social media. And I did not like the message I was putting out there because I was kind of just like roasting men in their cars and what not to wear. So that's why you guys saw the total shift in my content about a year ago, because I hated the content I was making. It just wasn't something I thought was helping anybody. Yeah. And the only reason I continued is because the new messaging resonated with people. And it was something that I actually thought was helpful. So yeah, I don't understand these people that make money in ways that is completely harming society, and you can't even deny it. They know deep down that they're not helping anybody.
Yeah, again, that there is a...
I just can't, I can't fathom making money in such an immoral way and being okay with that and being content with your life.
Yeah, well, and again, you're not... Your boyfriend or significant or husband, whoever it was, who's downstairs cooking you dinner while you put together your OnlyFans content, like,
or you reply to Tracy Cyrus on Twitter.
Yeah, that guy. Oh my God. Okay, how do I put this? First of all, I don't ever want to meet that guy. Ever. I feel like meeting that guy will I will become a worse person just by being in the same presence as a man like that, okay? I have a feeling you will claim that he is the most secure guy you've ever met because he's just so secure and trusts me that I'm still going to come home and love him even though I do what I do. No, he's scared shitless and completely insecure. He's probably desperate and can't get girls, and that's why he's so scared to lose you. That, or you're not his only girlfriend. Yeah. He does not love you, okay? And if he does, he's insecure. He doesn't want to lose you. He's desperate to have you, and he won't actually be honest with you. And the other thing, what is it with the name calling? What is it with these people? He brings up a point that you are more than welcome to combat. You're more than welcome to disagree with it, but
the name calling in response to Tracy Cyrus.
Yes. Yeah. Like, he didn't call you a single name. He made a point about your industry. He made the point that there are a lot of people in your industry who are coming out, like, putting their hands up, being like, hey, like, warning, just letting you know, life is not easy. It's not easy. It's really difficult for me to date. It's really difficult for me to maintain a relationship. My kid gets made fun of at school. We've seen that one too. It's just...
I get worried that my kid's going to get made fun of at school with the content we make, just even having an online presence. So imagine that.
Yeah. Again, we talk about this idea of becoming like socially ostracized, right? Like, you're more than welcome to try to socially ostracize anyone you want. But the moment that you start to do something where you have things that are online for eternity, guess what? When you bring kids into the world, they are going to be... I think
certain things should be socially ostracized. Yeah. Like, we were talking about this last night. Like, cigarettes became socially ostracized. Like, you're gross if you smoke cigarettes. Back in the day, that was, like, trendy. But because it became socially ostracized, like, I'm sure that's what caused a lot of people to quit, because it was just looked like it was frowned upon. Alcohol, if you look at the trends in Gen Z, like, alcohol consumption is declining, and maybe that's because it was socially ostracized. We're starting to see the effects of it, and people are like, you're not the healthiest if you drink alcohol. Right. So I don't think there's anything wrong with socially ostracizing S-workers.
Yeah, well, and again, I think that this is going to get a lot worse before it gets better. I think that a tide is turning, but there are so many guys who are in way too deep with this stuff. If you're paying money for something that is supposed to fill the void of a meaningful relationship in real life, where you're supposed to meet somebody, fall in love, build something, start a family, whatever it may be. If you are filling that void by giving money to a girl who takes her clothes off online, and in many cases, a girl who performs sexual acts on camera for your consumption, and you feel like, yeah, but I support her, she notices me, maybe, oh, I get a chance to like pay money to go on a date with her. You're going on a date with another man's girlfriend, and that man is already odd and weak and in many ways a cuck, and now you are paying a premium to be the second option of the day in her life. That kind of person is so far gone. I don't know how you get away from that as society. Like, how many? Hopefully, those guys just don't procreate. Like, hopefully, they don't bring people into this world who are going to learn those
they have
lessons.
A complete life shift.
Or they have a complete. That's preferable. I would love it if they had a complete life shift. It's part of our mission is to make that happen.
Yeah, exactly. So
but
I don't like going complete black pill. You know that.
No, I'm not saying black pill on society as a whole. I'm saying that person. Again,
I believe there's hope for literally everyone. I worked at a fucking prison. I believe in change. I believe everybody can change. That's also an unpopular opinion.
Yeah, no, I think people can change, but it's how do I put this in like a comparison perspective? I think I think both the men who consume it and the women who do it are in the same boat, and it's ego driven. It's, no, there's nothing wrong with what I do. For the girl, it's like, no, there's nothing wrong with me having my body and my sexuality be my source of income. And for the guy, it's, no, there's nothing wrong with me paying money so that I can feel connected to a woman, right? Like, the moment that someone says, no, but that's not how it works, that's not how this is supposed to be done, that's the moment where you start to be like, well, no, I can't be wrong about this.
Yeah.
I can't be wrong. My entire life has been about this so far. So I think that, again, we always say this, it's all about the next generation, right?
Yeah.
How do we stop this so the next generation, eventually this type of person just becomes extinct? How can we, like you said, socially ostracize this whole industry out of existence? Because I don't want to ban it. I'm not a policy or government overreach guy, but I do believe that we have... Look, if half the country was able to get us to stop saying the word gay for like a decade, like literally, remember we used to just throw that term around, and now we don't anymore because it was socially ostracized, right? That a whole generation just doesn't say that anymore. So maybe the next generation will just be like, oh, right, not going to do OF.
Well,
that'd be a good goal.
Yeah. Anyway, we're going to wrap this up with how I am. I always get these comments like, she never misses.
Oh, you took a big L.
I took a big L.
Yeah.
So in our first episode, I talked about how the Jonas Brothers were like the perfect representation of the nuclear family. Like, they have this pastor father. They have a really happy family. They all got married young. They all have kids.
And a determined mother.
Yeah, and a determined mother. And I was at their first concert to kick off their tour, and all their wives were there, and some of the daughters were there, Beautiful thing. Well, Joe Jonas stopped wearing his wedding ring, and rumor was spreading that he was seeking a divorce attorney in New York. And then a few days later, it was announced that Joe Jonas filed for divorce from Sophie Turner, which is an interesting twist because typically we do see the trend where the woman files.
Mm-hmm. Especially with a famous man.
Yeah, and he is worth more than her. I don't know if that's something to note, but that is, I think it's worth noting because of what we're going to get into. But right away, both PR teams were at it. So Joe Jonas kind of controlled the narrative for the first few days. We saw that the divorce was possibly caused because Sophie wanted to party. He had been watching the kids. She had been away. And then it came out that something was caused by something that he found. The divorce was caused by something he saw or heard on the Ring doorbell camera.
Okay.
That's all that was said. So Sophie wasn't looking too great. And then the tides kind of turned because people weren't liking that, Sophie was looked at as a absent mother. So then we started getting things that were possibly from her side of the PR wave, and we got this amazing article that I don't think anybody on social media has really pointed out this article, but I just thought it was so incredible. It's worth a read.
Yeah, but you read it to me when we did this last night. Let's try to spark notes this one at this point, because it is an interesting article. And again, you can post the link if they want to go read it and all that stuff.
I'll post the link, but I do think this is important because it represents the other side so well.
Right.
Give him a medal. Joe Jonas spends time with his kids. This time last week, I wouldn't have been able to pick up pop star Joe Jonas out of a police lineup. If you asked me what I thought about him, I'd say nothing. But after the past few days, however, I've had the misfortune of seeing his face everywhere and hearing about him nonstop. After 4 years of marriage, Jonas and the actress Sophie Turner are getting a divorce. The news sparked endless coverage and rumors of a lot of online outrage about mom shaming. To be clear, they're celebrities, but their divorce is nobody's business. What does merit attention, however, is how misogynistic much of the reporting about their split has been, thanks to many anonymous sources. They're hinting at Joe Jonas' sources. The narrative has been spun in tabloids like TMZ and Daily Mail that Turner, 27, is a hedonistic party lover and absent mother who goes out all the time instead of looking after her kids, while Jonas is a devoted father who's looking after his children despite the fact that he's on tour. She likes to party, he likes to stay at home, an anonymous source tells TMZ. And then we get into, but no one seems to question why Jonas at 30 decided to marry a 23-year-old and thought she'd suddenly turn into a trad wife. And then we just go into this whole thing about the double standard of parenting, and everything she does, meaning Turner, is suddenly viewed through the prism of her child and scrutinized. As the coverage around Turner demonstrate, all a woman has to do to be labeled a bad mother is to be pictured having a glass of wine. Again. What the frickin' doodle? Oh my God.
Yeah.
I literally saw them together a month ago, and now we're reading this.
Yeah. Well, okay, do you want to address the relationship, or do you want to get into the article?
Well, I want to pull up one more thing that I found that I still think they're such a wholesome family, and I have to go Team Jonas on this, just because I really do believe in this family. And look at the mother last night or 2 nights ago
showed me this.
at the concert. Joe Jonas started singing a song, which basically this song, if you don't know anything about the Jonas Brothers, were his vows to Sophie Turner, and the mom realizes he's singing the song at the concert.
As he says that he's had a rough couple of weeks.
Yeah, the mother's in the red here. Watch her realize. She sees when the song starts.
Yeah, so she's a little upset.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
Can we get into the article?
Yeah.
Because the article is there were a few things that were left out, but basically the insinuation is that women are seen as just these failures of mothers and these completely irresponsible sluts who, like, the moment that they go out and just have a glass of wine, which is not what they were saying. They're saying she's a party girl, not that she's going out for a wine night with
And
the
then
ladies,
it was almost insinuated that he had this power over her because of the age difference and shouldn't have brought a 23-year-old into a marriage where he, ended up having
become
kids.
a trad wife? No, he probably started dating her because he saw that she did have those values. Like, you're not going to be like, I can change her.
We have a 6.5.
Literally, we met at 30 and 23.
Yeah, and all I want is to be married with kids.
And I've known that from the day that I met you.
Yeah, so it's like, I don't know.
But I love this. She starts the whole thing off with the whole, like, give him a medal because, like, Joe Jonas is, like, apparently, he's the one who stays home.
This is the perfect example of a woman taking the woman's side just because she's a woman.
Exactly. I got to rush to the defense here.
You don't know them.
Yeah. So the whole, like, men are just, so we want to give them a medal just because they spend time with their kids. That's the narrative that you you and people like you paint. You're the one who says things like, men just want to go off to work and then they stay at happy hour and then they go out and like have a couple drinks with the guys and they have their fantasy football on Monday night and all this stuff. They're never like taking the load off of the mother when, you know, all this stuff. It's like, how can you say those things and then be like, oh yeah, let's just give him a medal because he's spending time with his kids? Relative to what you've painted men as, that's a medal. Okay? Because guess what? Spending time with your kids is way better than not spending time with your kids. So this whole, again, I think I mentioned this to you last night. Men can do no right and women can do no wrong, right? If she's either like a woman who joins the workforce or stays at home, she's either the world's greatest mother or she's a total independent, successful boss babe. If a man is either an absent father or doing the bare minimum.
Yeah.
Okay? That's the way that society views the two people. And she wants to come in and be like, oh, she's just getting blasted for being some some mother who doesn't care about her children. Nobody said that.
You're doing your Tucker impression, baby.
She doesn't care about her people. Nobody, again, I don't want to say nobody. I know there's some pretty harsh critics out there in the comment sections of whatever article and whatever video is being posted. But it sounds like, in general, she was a party girl. Mm-hmm. He didn't want her to party as much. She wasn't willing to give that up. And he said, if you're not willing to give that up.
And maybe someone was on the Ring doorbell camera.
And yeah, who knows? Maybe there was another guy. Maybe it's just that she came home obliterated one night and it was humiliating.
Again, we're just speculating.
We're speculating. We don't know what it is. But why is it that there has to be a villain in this?
I don't know. I don't know why celebrities just can't amicably split. But also, I do have to say, in order for me to be okay with this divorce, I will say they have two very young children. I think like a toddler and maybe a newborn.
Yeah,
I don't know. If it was caused by the Ring doorbell, let's just say that. For Joe Jonas to just file for divorce and give up on a marriage, they are a very religious family, so we know that they're viewing the marriage as something sacred and not just a piece of paper, given the reputation of this family. For him to just throw away the marriage and for it to be something that they couldn't work through, all I'm saying is it had to be bad, because I don't support just having two very young kids and divorcing unless this truly was irreversible.
Right, like for example, like let's just say you and I are married, right? And we have children. You and I will work through anything to make sure that our relationship remains strong, that we stay together in order to raise two great kids. Because at the very least, even if you and I during moments in time do not like each other or aren't on the same page about something, we know that our goal in life is the same in terms of what we want for our family, and we will work towards that together. We know that that's the case. But like, if you cheat on me, we're done. If I cheat on you, we're done, right? Like that kind of thing, completely and utterly disavowing each other, eliminating loyalty, doing something that is utterly reprehensible, that completely crumbles the basic foundation of the relationship, yeah, it has to end, right? Like, you could work through just about everything except for the absolute worst things. So I don't know if this was a situation where it's, like you said, they're a religious family. They thought this was pretty sacred. And they have two very young children, as you said. It's not like these are kids that they can explain it to. They're going to grow up in a household that is separated. So it was probably pretty bad. I'm just going to go ahead and put it out there.
Yeah. Well, anywho, if you made it this far, please leave a "What's up, my guys" in the comments so we know that you are still watching. And thank you if you watched this far. Please, please, please share if you can, and follow us on all of our platforms. They'll be linked down below. And we might have a little bit of a funky next couple weeks with our schedule because we will be traveling a lot, and it will be very exciting. I'll let you guys know when we can. But other than that, we love you.
Yeah.
And thanks for watching.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Thanks for bearing with us as we continue to try to figure this thing out.
Yeah.
We're going to try to make it better and better.
Hey, it's like our fun little side gig right now. We're not trying to, I mean, it would be cool if it kind of blew up into like a big thing, but we're just like letting you join into for like the, you know, our, I guess, like super fans. I don't think we have super fans, but like for the people who are truly dedicated that like are actually interested in our couch conversations at night, this is for you.
And by the way, if there are things that you actually would like us to get into or you'd like to hear our thoughts on, feel free to let us know in the comments with that as well. We'd be happy to touch on a few things or go deeper on things we've already touched on.
All right. Good night, guys.
See ya.